everyone, my name is Megan Edwards and today we are going to be discussing obesity. I'm currently a grad student studying nutrition and dietetics, and through my undergraduate studies and my continuing studies in dietetics, obesity is a topic that is always touched upon. Healthcare professionals are saying that the obesity epidemic is now a greater health concern than the opioid epidemic, meaning that people who are addicted to heroin aren't facing nearly as many health concerns as people who are obese. According to scientists, obesity accounts for 18% of deaths among Americans between the ages of 40 and 85. So throughout this speech, I'm hoping to educate you and make you more aware of the obesity epidemic and some solutions that we can take action in preventative care of obesity. In order to prevent obesity, healthy eating habits and activity levels need to be encouraged rather than focusing on weight. In addition to this, we need to avoid foods that are high in energy density and encourage the consumption of water rather than sugary drinks. So as I stated previously, I'm currently in grad school studying nutrition and dietetics, which is directly related to health and wellness, especially concerning obesity. Through my studies in undergrad and my continuing studies, I have found that early habits developed early on directly play a role in the lifestyle of children, meaning that their parents have a direct impact on their health and wellness. Knowing this, parents need to take action in teaching their children healthy eating habits and activity levels. Stanford Medicine states that obesity rates among children in the U.S. has doubled since 1980 and tripled in adolescents. If you could draw your attention to the graph over here, you can see that in 1985, while there was a lot of insufficient data, the obesity levels were not nearly where they reached here in 2016. Nearly every state has an absurd obesity issue with people in the healthcare field. Healthcare professionals are seeing an earlier onset of type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, depression, and anxiety. All of these are directly related to obesity and the complications that this excessive weight gain brings upon people. This is what makes obesity so difficult to treat because there are so many other health complications that come along with the excessive weight gain. This is why prevention is super important. So going into prevention, one way to prevent obesity is portion control and monitoring your calories in and out. By controlling the portions of foods you eat, you can control how much calories are coming in versus calories going out. So if you're consuming more calories than you're exerting throughout your day, this is what leads to that excessive weight gain. Whereas if you're consuming less calories and burning more, that's what's going to help you lose the weight and prevent the risk of obesity. Activity and physical, putting in physical activity directly relates to your health and well-being and your mentality, and this can combat against some of those complications we talked about, like depression and anxiety that's also seen with obesity. Not only are you becoming more physically healthy, but mentally as well. Earlier I discussed energy density. Energy density, for those of you who don't know, is essentially foods that have a small proportion compared to the amount of calories they're giving you. So a lot of foods that we see with a high energy density are like fast foods, which contain a lot of added sugars, oils, and high in sodium. These foods will momentarily satisfy your craving. However, they're not providing you with that long-term energy, and they're probably not going to make you feel as full as you would if you ate a healthier meal that was equivalent in calories. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, money is directly related to their daily intake. And the sad truth is, unhealthy foods tend to cost less and therefore become more convenient. Fueling our bodies is essential for good health and by consuming a healthier diet and filling your stomach with more healthy foods, then you're not going to run that risk of becoming hungry and leading to overconsumption. In this picture here, we can see 400 calories of meat hardly fills the stomach the way that 400 calories of vegetables does. So rather than consuming a burger, by consuming a salad, you're filling your stomach more and providing yourself with a more fulfilling and healthy, balanced meal. Another thing we discussed was the encouraging individuals to consume water rather than sugary drinks. Have you ever heard the phrase, "don't drink your calories"? This phrase is almost always true. Drinks like soda, fruit juices, and energy drinks all have added sugars that eventually can get turned into fat if they're not used properly. Benal's Children's Hospital states, these drinks contain a lot of calories with little or no nutritional benefit. So basically, by consuming these drinks, it's the same thing we were talking about before. You're consuming the amount of calories and it's not filling your stomach the way that a healthier meal would. Studies show that drinking a 12-ounce can of soda every day for 1 year is equal to 55,000 calories, and this equates to 15 pounds a year. To me, this statistic is absolutely crazy because that 15 pounds a year can make the difference between whether you're living a healthy and active lifestyle or whether you're suffering from obesity and the complications such as type 2 diabetes or cardiovascular disease that we discussed earlier. In conclusion, obesity is directly related to lifestyle and the healthy, active choices you're making as an individual, and therefore it's completely preventable. In order to prevent obesity, as we discussed, healthy eating habits and activity levels need to be encouraged rather than looking at the weight on the scale. In addition to this, you need to avoid foods that are high in energy density and encourage the consumption of water rather than sugary drinks that are often replaced with water on a day-to-day basis in so many people's lives. It is important to be educated and aware of all of the complications that come with obesity and the different ways that you can prevent it and present solutions to these problems. Dr. Mike Hyman stated it perfectly himself. We all know food can harm us, but we should take advantage of the fact that food can heal us too. Start taking out the bad and adding in the good. So by following those simple words of Dr. Mark Hyman, you can change your lifestyle and prevent obesity. Thank you everyone for listening. I hope you were able to get enough out of this speech.